Immigrants are an essential part of the United States, contributing to the economy, enriching culture, and strengthening communities. Yet despite their importance, many immigrants, whether documented or undocumented, are unaware of their fundamental legal rights in the country. Fear, misinformation, language barriers, or lack of access to legal resources often prevent them from asserting those rights when it matters most. This knowledge gap leaves many vulnerable to abuse, exploitation, or unnecessary legal trouble. Knowing your rights is not just empowering, it's essential for personal safety, dignity, and long-term success in the U.S. The following video highlights the top 10 legal rights that most immigrants don't realize they have while living in the United States. 1. The right to remain silent when questioned by authorities. Many immigrants mistakenly believe they must answer every question posed by immigration officers, police, or federal agents. However, under the U.S. Constitution, everyone, including non-citizens, has the right to remain silent. If you are approached or stopped by law enforcement or immigration agents, you are not legally required to answer questions about your immigration status, where you were born, or how you entered the country. Politely stating, "I am exercising my right to remain silent," is enough. This right helps prevent individuals from unintentionally incriminating themselves or giving information that could later be used against them. 2. The right to an attorney in immigration proceedings. Although the government is not obligated to provide a free attorney in immigration court, unlike in criminal court, immigrants have the right to hire and be represented by an attorney at their own expense. This right is critical, especially in removal or deportation proceedings, where legal complexities abound. In many cities, nonprofit organizations and legal aid clinics offer free or low-cost legal help for immigrants. Having legal representation can dramatically improve an immigrant's chances of success in cases such as asylum, green card applications, and deportation defenses. 3. The right to due process and a fair hearing. One of the most misunderstood legal protections is the right to due process under the 5th and 14th Amendments, which applies to all people in the U.S., regardless of immigration status. This means immigrants cannot be detained, deported, or punished without fair legal procedures. You have the right to receive notice of charges against you, to be heard in a court of law, and to appeal decisions. If your immigration case is mishandled or if your legal rights are violated, you may be eligible for a review or reversal of the outcome. 4. The right to refuse entry to immigration officers without a warrant. ICE agents and immigration officers may come to your home or workplace seeking information or trying to make arrests. However, you are not required to let them into your home unless they present a valid judicial warrant signed by a judge. A deportation or administrative warrant issued by ICE does not grant the same authority. You have the right to ask officers to slide the warrant under the door or hold it up to a window. Without a valid judicial warrant, you can refuse entry and should clearly state, "I do not consent to your entry." This is a critical defense against illegal searches and unwarranted arrests. 5. The right to emergency medical care. Many immigrants, especially undocumented ones, avoid seeking medical attention out of fear of arrest or deportation. However, everyone in the U.S. has the right to emergency medical care, regardless of their immigration status or ability to pay. Under the Emergency Medical Treatment and Labor Act, EMTALA, hospitals must provide emergency medical services to all individuals in need. This includes treatment for injuries, labor and delivery, and life-threatening conditions. Denying yourself or your family urgent care due to fear of legal repercussions can be dangerous and is unnecessary. 6. The right to a safe workplace and fair labor practices. Immigrants, regardless of legal status, are protected by U.S. labor laws, including minimum wage laws, safety regulations, and protections against discrimination and harassment. Employers cannot legally withhold wages, force unsafe working conditions, or threaten deportation for reporting abuses. The U.S. Department of Labor, OSHA, Occupational Safety and Health Administration, and the EEOC, Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, enforce these protections. Even undocumented workers have the right to file labor complaints, collect unpaid wages, and take legal action against exploitative employers without fear of retaliation. 7. The right to enroll children in public school. Under the landmark Supreme Court decision Plyler v. Doe, 1982, children in the U.S. have the right to attend public schools regardless of their or their parents' immigration status. Schools are not allowed to ask about or require immigration documents as a condition of enrollment. They also cannot report students or families to immigration authorities. Education is a fundamental right in the U.S., and all children, whether citizens, green card holders, or undocumented, are entitled to free K-12 education. 8. The right to file a complaint or report a crime. Many immigrants don't realize they can report crimes and file complaints with authorities without fear of deportation. In fact, law enforcement agencies generally encourage immigrants to come forward as witnesses or victims, especially in cases involving domestic violence, trafficking, or hate crimes. In some situations, victims of crimes may even be eligible for special visas such as the U visa, for crime victims, or T visa, for trafficking victims. Being undocumented should not stop someone from reporting abuse or criminal activity. Local police often do not cooperate with federal immigration enforcement unless required by law. 9. The right to marry and petition for legal status. Immigrants in the U.S., whether on a visa, green card, or undocumented, have the right to marry a U.S. citizen or lawful permanent resident. Upon marriage, the U.S. citizen spouse can petition for the immigrant to receive legal permanent residency, a green card. While this process requires careful navigation, especially for those with unlawful presence, it is a lawful path to immigration relief. However, marriage fraud, marriage solely for immigration purposes, is illegal and can result in serious penalties. Still, the legal system does recognize the legitimacy of family-based immigration when done correctly. 10. The right to stay silent at work during ICE raids. Workplace immigration raids are intimidating, but employees have the right to remain silent and not sign any documents without speaking to a lawyer. If ICE comes to your workplace, you do not have to answer questions about your immigration status, country of origin, or how you entered the U.S. You are allowed to show a Know Your Rights card, available from many immigrant advocacy groups, that states you wish to remain silent and want a lawyer. Employers must also have proper legal documentation before allowing agents to enter private areas of the business. Knowing these boundaries can prevent panic and protect your rights during a raid. In a country where immigration laws are complex and often politicized, it is more important than ever for immigrants to understand the rights they are legally entitled to. Whether it's the right to remain silent, seek medical help, enroll children in school, or report crimes without fear, these protections exist to ensure that every person, regardless of immigration status, is treated with fairness and dignity. By knowing and exercising these rights, immigrants can better navigate life in the U.S., defend themselves from mistreatment, and make informed choices about their futures. Education is power, and spreading awareness about these 10 critical legal rights is a step toward creating safer, more empowered immigrant communities across the nation.